Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alexis, and today I just want to yap about some trending topics and whatever's been on my mind. I think I might start a series where I just chat about stuff like this. Let me know what you think. Alright, let's get into it. First off, let's talk about the Grammys. So, Beyonce finally won Album of the Year, but honestly, something doesn't sit right with me about that. Don't get me wrong, I love Beyonce. She's a legend. But Cowboy Carter just doesn't feel like the album that should have taken that title. I mean, Lemonade was definitely deserving of that award, Renaissance too. But this, I don't know, it just feels off. Especially after the whole thing with Jay-Z when Beyonce didn't win before. It feels kind of forced, right? Like they had to make sure Beyonce got it, even though it wasn't the album that should have won. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of Grammys, y'all, I was shocked when Chris Brown won his first Grammy. Wait, was it his first? I'm not even sure, but it's crazy because at this point in his career, he's been around forever and still delivering hits. Personally, I don't vibe with all his music now. I still jam to the classics, but hey, I gotta give him his props. He's got an amazing voice and the man can dance. I mean, it's impressive that after all these years, he can still drop new music and keep a solid fan base. And I gotta say, Under the Influence? That's one of his best recent tracks. It's been nice to hear a slow jam from him again. We don't get enough of those anymore, right? Then y'all, and let's talk about Ariana Grande for a second. If you remember when Mac Miller tragically passed away, Ariana was absolutely devastated. She was at the Grammys and they hyped her up like she was about to sweep the show, but nothing. Zilch. It's like they blackballed her, and honestly, I think we all saw that. The Grammys just don't hit the same anymore, right? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. We all know that the Grammys used to mean everything. If you got a Grammy, it was like the ultimate validation for an artist. But honestly, I don't even feel the same way about the Grammys anymore. Like, remember back in the day, it was such a big deal? Now, it just feels like some artists are getting their awards for the wrong reasons. Like, people can literally buy Grammys at this point. Like Doechii winning Best Rap Album. I'm gonna be honest, I find that kind of strange. Not because she isn't talented, but let's think about the timing here. It feels like every time a new female rapper is pushed, they're handed a Grammy. Like we saw this with Megan, Cardi, and now Doechii. But let's talk about Nicki Minaj for a second. She's been in the game for years and has never won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. And that's a problem. I feel like these newer girls are just given Grammys easily. Almost to taunt Nicki, like, look, all these girls are getting Grammys, and Nicki still doesn't have one. It just feels a little weird. Like, I knew Doechii was going to win the minute they started pushing her, you know? And now we're seeing all these comparisons to Nicki, trying to position her as the next big thing in rap. It's like, can we just let artists rise on their own? It feels a little manufactured to me. What do you think about that? It's wild, right? I mean, every time I go on social media, there's some new rapper popping up out of nowhere. And it's like, no matter what, they're getting pushed into your feed. I'm not even searching for these artists, but their music is everywhere. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it feels kind of strategic. Like it's not about talent anymore. It's about how much money you can pump into promoting someone. We saw it with Ice Spice, and now we're seeing it with these other girls. Suddenly they're everywhere, getting all these opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere. Is this real? Or is it all just a big marketing play? It's honestly hard to tell sometimes. Let's talk about Cardi B for a minute. I'm still confused as to why she was even at the Grammys this year. Like, she hasn't dropped a new album in 7 years. 7 years, y'all. Why is she still getting so much attention and credit when her career is literally stalled? It's almost like they're trying to keep her relevant by throwing her in the spotlight, but she hasn't even done anything new. I saw this tweet the other day, and it hit me. Cardi B's career feels a little inflated. She got a lot of attention when she came in, sold some records, got a Grammy, but now she's just riding off other people's clout. People keep saying she's going to drop a second album, but it's been years and we're still waiting. It feels like every time she posts something, it's just a random single or feature here and there. She's not moving in any clear direction. Like, what's Cardi B's brand? We know Megan's brand, we know Saweetie's brand, but Cardi? It's all over the place. And what's worse is they're pushing her so hard, but there's no substance there. She doesn't have that clear vision like other artists do. Let's talk about how the industry's been handling Cardi's career. It's clear they invested a lot of money into making her a star. They pushed her, gave her all the exposure, but now, the second album is probably not going to do what the first one did. I'm sorry, but I think they know that. It's like they were trying to build her up to compete with Nicki, but now they're realizing that Nicki is still breaking records and staying relevant. Cardi's second album can't top what she did with her debut. And I don't think Cardi's ready for that reality check. Her fans can only keep hyping her up so much. At the end of the day, it's about real sales, and the numbers just aren't adding up. And here's the thing, Cardi's second album has so much pressure on it. Like, it's got to be bigger than Invasion of Privacy, right? But honestly, with how much time has passed, it's just not going to hit the same. The buzz isn't there anymore. The hype is gone. I think she's stalling because she knows that if this second album flops, it's over. People are already starting to see through the industry manipulation. You can't just throw money at someone and expect them to stay relevant forever. It's only a matter of time before people stop caring. So yeah, I think at this point, Cardi B's career is kind of stuck. There's no clear path forward for her. Her first album was a hit because it was fresh, but after that, where is the direction? Where's the growth? I feel like the industry tried to create something that wasn't sustainable, and now it's all falling apart. And it's crazy because even though they're trying to push these new girls and throw Grammys at them, it's not going to replace the loyalty Nicki and Drake have built over the years. You can't just erase them. Okay, so now let's get into some real messy drama. I've been dying to talk about this whole Shamar, Alvo, and Tommy situation. You'll know I've been following Shamar for a while now, and let's just say this guy gets way too comfortable with the attention he's been getting. But let me tell you, every time someone starts thinking they're untouchable, the universe always humbles them. Like, okay, now you got this little clout, so now what? Not to mention, Alvo wants to cry about how Shamar treats him like that's your karma for how you treated Tommy. You were living off Tommy. Now you are with his ex-best friend because you thought he was going to blow you up and you were going to be able to use him. But now you see Shamar is stingy with his money and looks down on you. Plus he has the audacity to cheat but you to want to cry? By Alvo. Karma is bitch. Like, oh well, I don't feel bad. And Shamar better humble himself real soon because he can be right back homeless. 60K is nothing nowadays. Okay, I need to dive into this next topic because it's been really wild and unsettling. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the headlines about Chrisean, Rock's ex, passing away recently. Now, I know things have been a complete mess with Chrisean and Blueface, but this situation right here, it's a whole different level of strange. Not too long ago, Chrisean's ex was publicly claiming to be the real father of her baby, and even going as far as to fight for custody. Yeah, you heard that right. He was out here saying he was the one who should be raising the child. Now, whether you believe that or not, the fact that he's now dead is oddly suspicious, to say the least. It feels like there's some dark energy around the whole thing, like the timing couldn't be more bizarre. And let's not forget that even through all of this mess, the baby is barely growing or developing like we expect to see from other celebrity kids. Now, I'm not one to speculate, but this baby just isn't hitting milestones like Cardi B's Culture or even Halle's baby. Look at Culture. She's talking, walking, and showing all those cute growing up moments that we love to see from celebrity babies. It's just so normal, right? Same with Halle's baby. You see him growing, developing, and thriving. You see them sharing those little moments on social media, and we're all like, wow, look at them grow. But with Chrisean's baby, it's like time is frozen. We've seen pictures of the child, but honestly, there's just no visible progression. It's like he's not growing up the way we expect children to, especially when you compare him to other celebrity babies. And I'm not saying anything about Chrisean as a mother. What I'm saying is just the timing of everything with her ex passing. And now there's no clear development with the baby. It all just feels off. I mean, we're seeing babies younger than him talking, walking, and doing things, but with Chrisean's baby, it just feels like nothing's changing. It's weird, right? you can't help but wonder why it feels like this baby is stuck in time. I know there's a lot of speculation around Chrisean's situation, especially with the drama that's gone down between her and Blueface. But with everything surrounding her ex's passing, the custody battle claims, and then the lack of growth from her baby, something just doesn't feel right. It's crazy how this whole thing has unfolded, and honestly, it's just making people question a lot of things. I'm not accusing anyone of anything sinister, but we can't ignore that this situation is wild, and there are just too many unanswered questions for it to not feel strange. Alright, well, I've been seeing a lot of things lately about Kylie Jenner, and I've got to say, this one's been bothering me. We all know that Kylie used to be all about that black girl aesthetic. She was rocking the braids, the big lips, the dark tans, and let's not forget all the time she was posting about her love for hip hop culture, leaning into that bad baddie vibe. She was giving us the illusion that she was down with the culture, you know? She was trying to be one of us. But now, something's changed, and I'm not the only one noticing it. Over the past year or so, Kylie's whole vibe has switched up. She's been moving further away from that black girl aesthetic, and it seems like she's kind of shut that part of herself down. It's almost like she was wearing a costume at one point, like she was cosplaying as blackness. But once she had her mixed babies with Travis Scott, it feels like she's pulling away from that image altogether. Now let's talk about cultural appropriation because in case you missed it, Kylie got a lot of backlash for it. She was borrowing from black culture, taking all those trendy styles like braids, full lips, and tanning, and turning it into a brand. But where were the same people defending black culture when things got tough for us? Where was the support when we needed it most? It wasn't there, and it's not just her. A lot of celebrities and influencers from different races do this. Cosplay black culture when it's trendy, and then as soon as they have kids, it's like they leave it behind. Kylie had this whole ghetto fabulous aesthetic, and now it's like she's just changed. She's embraced a more traditional, whiter aesthetic, and to me, that's the issue. She literally went from doing her best to be perceived as someone from the culture to now acting like she's been this ultra-private, suburban mom with her white man and kids. It's like she took the things from us that were popular in her world, benefited from it, and then switched it up once she got her mixed babies. Like, let's really think about it. She's all about the clean, classic, white aesthetic now, wearing lighter clothes, doing more subtle makeup, and almost completely abandoning the heavy, urban look she had. Why does this feel so strange to me? Because it's the same thing we've seen from other celebrities like Miley Cyrus, Iggy Azalea, and now even Woah Vicky, taking from black culture when it's convenient, and then dropping it like it never existed once they get what they want. Kylie even has her own mixed babies, and it's almost like she's using that as an excuse to now distance herself from everything she used to represent. And it's weird, right? You have these white celebrities like Kylie who benefit from black culture by doing everything they can to look like us, act like us, and steal from us. But as soon as they get that little bit of diversity with their mixed babies, they wash their hands of the whole thing. Like, okay, now I'm free from this. But it doesn't work like that. Kylie, it doesn't make you any less complicit in cultural appropriation just because you have biracial children. You've still benefited from exploiting black culture for years, and that's the issue. Now, I'm not saying she's a bad person, but it's hard to ignore the fact that her whole aesthetic, her brand, was built on the backs of black culture. She was giving us the wigs, the braids, the looks, and now she's acting like that part of her life never even existed. And that's the problem. So what do we do about this? How do we call it out without being labeled as hating? I feel like people are either going to defend Kylie because they love her, or they'll pretend like they don't see the cultural erasure happening in real time. And I'll be honest, it's getting harder to ignore. We can't keep letting people come in, take what they want from our culture, and then peace out once they've gotten what they needed. Honestly, I want to hear what you think. Are we being too hard on Kylie? Or is it time to call out cultural appropriation? Especially when it's so obvious. Let's talk about it in the comments because this is a conversation we definitely need to have. Okay, that's a lot to unpack today. From the Grammys to Shamar and Alvo's drama to Kylie Jenner, we covered it all. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about these topics? Is Ariana blackballed from the Grammys? What's going on with Chrisean's baby? And what's your take on Kylie Jenner's whole vibe shift? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the tea next time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.